Hi guys, today I want to talk about why don't people tell others what they did wrong on a date. Now this might be the person that you actually went on the date with, or it might be your friends. Let's start with why the people you're going on dates with won't tell you what you're doing wrong. They just keep ghosting you or giving you some wishy-washy, it's not you, it's me, or timing's not right or something. I mean, these things can be true, but if you keep getting this and you know you've done something wrong but you just don't know what it is, and you're like, why can't they just tell me? Why don't people tell others what they're doing wrong so they know not to do it again? How am I supposed to know what I'm doing wrong if nobody tells me? Well, I'll tell you why nobody's telling you. There's a couple of reasons. One, they might not want to hurt your feelings, so it's easier just to blame it on themselves, the timing, whatever. Another reason is, and this one probably less than the others, is that they feel like if they tell you what you're doing wrong, that you will falsely make out to the next woman that you aren't like this. You will fool the next woman. And so they want people to be able to see what you actually are like, to protect the next woman, I guess, or man, whichever gender we're talking about. But I'm always going to be speaking from a woman's perspective, so that's why I talk about men a lot. So, for example, if you make really inappropriate jokes about something that's kind of a little bit scary, she's not gonna then turn around and tell you, well, I don't want to date you because you said this scary thing that made me afraid of what you might do in the future. Because all you're going to do then is turn around and make sure you edit that bit out on your next date with some girl, and she has no clue that what you're really like, and therefore could end up getting hurt or, worse. So that's another reason she might not be telling you, but like I said, that's more of a rarity than the others. Another reason is that you might then talk her out of her decision. And she doesn't want, she's firm in her belief, and if she tells you what you did wrong, then you try and talk her out of it and say, oh, no, you got it all wrong, rah, or you're just being silly, or you're overreacting, or no, actually this is what it's like, or oh no, sorry, I was just having a bad moment, or whatever. She doesn't want to put herself in a position to be talked back into going out with you because she knows in her gut that it's not right. And the fourth reason, she might not tell you what you're doing wrong. And this is quite a big one, as well as the not wanting to hurt your feelings. And that's why friends won't tell you what you're doing wrong either. They don't want to hurt your feelings, or they do the same thing and they don't get what you're doing wrong either. But this fourth one is a biggie. That even if people want to know what they're doing wrong, if you turn around and tell them what they're doing wrong, and I can speak from personal experience here, they abuse you. Now, I stopped dating some guy that I'd met, had, maybe a few dates with, maybe three dates with. I stopped seeing him, and each time I saw him, I sort of gathered more reasons to not see him again. And then on the last time I saw him, third or fourth date, whatever it was, something he did was the final straw that turned me off and thought, this guy's not for me. And then he asked me why am I not seeing him anymore or whatever. And at the time, I thought, oh, well, I'm going to tell him because I would want someone to tell me. If it were me, I'd want to know what I was doing wrong. So it was a little bit long to sort of just send a text because I wasn't seeing him anymore. This was all text-based or email-based, can't remember. So I actually wrote it all down and sent it to him in an email, why I didn't feel he was right for me. And one of the reasons was that he said he was 35, I think, and I was 30 at the time. But he seemed much older, like he acted a lot older, and he thought going on rides at the fair or at the show or the Ekka or whatever was immature. And as someone who had just turned 30, who was 29 the other day, that was not too old for me. And so that was one of the reasons I didn't feel like he was right for me. He acted a lot older, and so we weren't a match. Anyway, so I told him that, and I told him a few other things he did that I didn't like or wasn't a match for me or whatever, and I stayed very calm in the email. But instead of just taking it on board and going, okay, I'm aware now, I won't do that with the next person, or I will find someone better suited to me, you know, like I naively thought he would, he turned around and abused me and started like pointing out physical flaws and just having a go at me back and saying I was an ugly person on the inside and all this sort of stuff. And I thought, well, you asked, you wanted to know, I'm being completely honest. There's no need to turn around and start attacking me and putting down the way I look and all this sort of stuff. Now, he shouldn't have been putting down the way I look when he was a 5, you know, and at the time I was probably like, God, a 9, I don't know. So putting down the way I looked was really quite low when he asked me what he did wrong, and I was doing a nice thing by letting him in on perhaps some of the mistakes or whatever he was making, or just what wasn't a match for us. Yeah, so he sent a really, really nasty text or something, and I think I ended up blocking him because I just thought it was highly inappropriate. I didn't respond or anything, I just blocked him. Only to find out sometime later that he actually lied about his age. He was actually 40, not 35. So I was 30 and he was 40. So, well, there you go, guys. That's why he seemed a lot older than me. So don't go into a relationship or dating with lies, because it's not going to work out for you. If he had have just said he was 40, I probably would have gone, probably not a match for me. Probably not at the right stages of our lives to be a match. And all of this unpleasantness could have been avoided. So don't lie. So yeah, if people are not telling you why, I know it's frustrating. I know you wish you could know and all the rest of it, but they're probably not going to tell you. And if they do tell you, if they are nice enough to sit down and explain it to you, don't abuse them. If you don't like what they've got to say, you're not going to like it, because they're not wanting to date you, so you're not going to like it. So if you ask, then accept their answer and don't abuse them. You don't even have to reply, just don't abuse them. Now, if you actually want to find out what you are doing wrong, the best person to ask would be a sibling or a friend of the opposite gender who you know is going to tell you the truth. But asking your mates is probably not the best idea, because they're probably similar to you and are probably making the same mistakes themselves. And because they haven't actually been on the date with you, they haven't got a clue what you've done. You might be a completely different person with them than you are on dates. So speaking to someone of the opposite gender, she's probably got a lot of stories of the typical things guys do. So she might have a bit more of an insight. So anyway, guys, I hope I've opened your eyes a bit about why people are not telling you what you're doing wrong. And I will talk to you in my next video. Until then, from Aussie Land, farewell.